If you have a low income right now, it is probably not because you are lazy. In fact, millions of people work 2 or even 3 jobs, sweating for 40, 50, or 60 hours a week, yet they barely scrape by. They are exhausted, frustrated, and stuck. Meanwhile, society tells them to just work harder, to get another certification, to climb the ladder. But Naval Ravikant argues that hard work is not the answer. Hard work is a trap when you are running in the wrong direction. The harsh reality is that most people with low incomes are playing a game they can never win because they are selling their life by the hour. If your income is directly tied to the hours you put in, you have a hard ceiling on your wealth. In this video, we are going to break down the exact playbook Naval used to escape this trap. It is not about working harder. It is about working differently. Let us look at how most of us ended up in this position. From the moment we enter the school system, we are conditioned for employment. We are taught to be punctual, to follow instructions, and to memorize general knowledge. Society praises the perfect path: get good grades, go to a reputable university, and secure a safe, stable job with a steady paycheck. This entire system is brilliantly designed to create reliable, compliant, and replaceable employees for large corporations and bureaucracy. It is not designed to create wealthy, free individuals. When you enter the workforce on this perfect path, you inevitably fall into the primary trap: the hourly wage. Society markets this as security, but it is actually the biggest bottleneck to your financial freedom. A salary or an hourly rate is simply a financial arrangement where you trade your limited, unrecoverable time for immediate cash flow. Naval Ravikant puts it brutally simply: you are not going to get rich renting out your time. Why? Because renting out your time has zero scalability. Your earning potential is directly restricted by physical reality. You only have 24 hours in a day. Even if you become extremely valuable and manage to double your hourly rate, you are still capped. You cannot work 48 hours a day. The math does not work for you. Furthermore, if you stop working for even 1 week, the money stops flowing completely. This is not security, this is a state of perpetual fragility. Society encourages this structure because it rewards predictability. Companies want to know exactly how much labor they can get for a fixed cost. They want you to be a dependable cog in their machine. But as long as you are comfortable being a cog, you will never own the machine, and you will never receive the true profits the machine generates. To escape a low income, you must first accept that your primary goal is not to negotiate a slightly better salary, it is to fundamentally stop being replaceable. You must stop being a dependable employee who trades hours for dollars, and start being someone who owns assets and leverage. While you are trapped on the treadmill of hourly work, you are too busy running to build anything permanent of your own. You are too busy executing general knowledge that society taught you, knowledge that can be easily automated or outsourced to someone cheaper. This is why the first step to escaping low income is not getting a raise or finding a second job. It is changing your philosophy on how money is made, and realizing that your time is too valuable to be sold by the hour. Once you realize that renting out your time is a trap, the natural instinct is to try and outwork the system. You think, if my hourly rate is low, I just need to work more hours. You take on a second job. You work weekends. You sacrifice your health and your energy, trying to sprint your way out of a low income. But Naval points out a crucial flaw in this approach. He says direction is much more important than speed. Imagine you are driving a car, trying to reach a beautiful destination called financial freedom. If you are headed dead south, but the destination is directly north, it does not matter how hard you press the gas pedal. It does not matter if you are driving a luxury sports car or a broken-down sedan. Speeding up in the wrong direction only takes you further away from your goal. This is exactly what happens when you try to escape a low income simply by working harder at a job that has no leverage and no equity. You are just accelerating in the wrong direction. Most people are obsessed with speed. They are obsessed with hustle culture. They want to know how to work 80 hours a week without burning out. But Naval argues that hard work is completely overrated if you have not figured out what you should be working on. The most important decision you can make is not how hard you work, but what you work on, and who you work with. If you are in an industry with low margins, high competition, and zero leverage, no amount of hard work will make you wealthy. You are swimming against a massive current. But if you step out of the river, and walk over to a stream that is flowing in the right direction, suddenly everything becomes easier. That stream is an industry with high leverage. It is the ability to build a system, write a piece of software, or create media that scales infinitely without your constant physical presence. Taking the time to figure out your direction might feel like you are wasting time. You might feel guilty for sitting down and reading a book instead of picking up an extra shift. You might feel anxious sitting alone in a room, thinking deeply about what your specific knowledge actually is, instead of grinding away at a repetitive task. But that pause is the most profitable thing you can do. You have to figure out where the leverage is. You have to figure out what feels like play to you but looks like work to others. Until you find that exact direction, your hard work is just exhausting you. It is keeping you too tired to notice the better path right next to you. Stop obsessing over how fast you are moving, and start questioning exactly where you are heading. So once you have figured out the right direction, the next step is the most critical part of escaping a low income. You must decouple your time from your earnings. In the traditional working world, there is a strict 1-to-1 ratio between the hours you put in and the dollars you get out. If you work 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. This linear relationship is exactly what keeps people trapped in a state of financial struggle. Wealth does not come from linear relationships. It comes from asymmetric returns, where 1 unit of effort can produce 100 or 1,000 units of reward. Naval emphasizes that the rich do not get rich by renting out their time. They get rich by owning assets. An asset is anything that works for you when you're not physically present to manage it. It could be a piece of software you coded, a digital channel you started, a book you wrote, or equity in a business you helped build. The magic of an asset is that its earning potential is completely disconnected from your daily schedule. You can spend 6 months building a digital product, and once it is finished, it can sell 1 copy or 1 million copies with zero additional effort from you. When you are stuck in a low-income bracket, your primary focus should be shifting your energy from tasks that require your constant presence to building things that scale. If you are a graphic designer, instead of just taking hourly freelance gigs, spend a portion of your week designing a template pack that you can sell online infinitely. If you know how to code, stop just building things for your employer and start building a small application of your own. If you have specific knowledge about a niche topic, do not just offer one-on-one consulting. Record your knowledge into a media format or write a comprehensive guide that lives on the internet forever. The transition will not happen overnight. You will still need your day job to pay the bills and keep food on the table. But you have to start treating your free time differently. Your evenings and weekends are not just for resting or escaping reality. They are the only capital you have right now to invest into your future assets. Every hour you spend building something that scales is a step toward decoupling your time from your money. It is a slow process at first. You might work for 6 months on a project and make $0. In a linear job, working for $0 is a complete failure. But in the world of asymmetric returns, it is an investment. Because once that asset finally starts generating value, it will do so while you sleep, while you travel, and while you build your next asset. This is the only mathematical way to truly break free from the hard ceiling of an hourly wage. The hardest part about decoupling your time from your earnings is that it requires immense patience. When you are struggling with a low income, your mind is physically forced into short-term thinking. You are worried about the rent due in 2 weeks or the bills due next month. Stress wires your brain to seek immediate returns. If you work an hour, you naturally want to be paid for that hour today. But Naval Ravikant teaches a principle that fundamentally breaks this cycle of poverty. He says, all returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from compound interest. Compound interest is the ultimate force of wealth creation, but it only works if you play long-term games. When you are constantly jumping from one side hustle to another, looking for a quick payout, you are constantly resetting your progress to zero. You are playing short-term games. And short-term games yield short-term rewards that disappear as quickly as they arrive. To escape a low income permanently, you have to find a long-term game you can play for a decade. You have to pick a direction, start building your specific knowledge, and let compounding do the heavy lifting over time. Think about how building a media asset or a software business actually works. For the first 6 months, or even the first year, you might have 0 subscribers or 0 customers. You are putting in hundreds of hours of work for absolutely free. An impatient person quits in month 3, concluding that the system is broken and that they should just go back to a safe hourly wage. But a person playing a long-term game understands that they are not failing. They are simply in the early, flat stages of the compounding curve. When year 3 or year 5 hits, the returns become exponential. One piece of work you did 3 years ago suddenly reaches 1 million people and generates revenue while you sleep. That is the magic of playing long-term games. Naval also emphasizes playing long-term games with long-term people. In the world of wealth creation, trust is everything. If you are constantly trying to extract immediate cash from every interaction or business deal, the best people will stop working with you. But if you play the long game, if you build genuine value and trust without demanding an immediate paycheck, you attract other high-leverage individuals. You build an unshakable reputation. And in the modern economy, a strong reputation combined with leverage is an asset that no one can take away from you. The choice is ultimately yours. You can keep playing short-term games to secure a short-term paycheck, or you can endure the initial friction, play the long game, and let compound interest build your ultimate freedom. Now we move from philosophy to action. Theory is useless without an escape plan. If you are currently stuck in a low-income situation, here is exactly how you begin to transition out of it. The first step is not what you might expect. You do not start by trying to make $1 million. You start by radically lowering your cost of living. Naval says that if you want to make the right decisions, you need peace of mind. And you cannot have peace of mind if your burn rate is constantly pushing you to the edge of survival. When you lower your expenses, you are literally buying your own freedom. You are buying the runway and the mental clarity to think long-term instead of panicking about tomorrow. Once you have reduced your financial stress, the second step is to ruthlessly carve out 1 or 2 hours a day for yourself. You cannot build a high-leverage asset if you are giving 100% of your waking energy to your employer and the rest to mindless entertainment. You have to reclaim your time. Wake up 1 hour earlier. Stay up 1 hour later. Stop watching television and put down your phone. Those 2 hours are your seed capital. They are the most important hours of your day because they are the only hours you are investing in your own equity rather than renting out to someone else. The third step is what you actually do with those 2 hours. You must focus entirely on acquiring high-leverage skills. Do not spend your precious free time learning a skill that pays a linear hourly wage. Learn how to code. Learn how to write persuasive copy. Learn how to record and edit media. Learn how to build digital communities. These are skills that scale infinitely. When you sit down for those 2 hours, your only goal is to build something that will eventually work while you sleep. You might start by writing a single article, or coding a basic application, or recording a short video. It will feel insignificant at first. But remember the law of compound interest. If you spend 2 hours a day, every single day, building assets instead of trading time, you will inevitably look back in 3 to 5 years and realize you have completely escaped the trap. You will have built your own leverage. Escaping a low income is ultimately a shift in your identity. It is the realization that you are no longer just an employee trading hours for survival. You are a builder. You are an owner. Naval Ravikant often says that if you left him on the streets of any English-speaking country with $0, he would be wealthy again in 5 or 10 years. Why? Because wealth creation is not a lottery ticket. It is a specific set of skills. It is knowing how to find leverage, how to apply specific knowledge, and how to play long-term games. Now, you have the exact same playbook. The transition will not be easy, and it certainly will not be fast. There will be days when you want to quit building your assets and just go back to the comfort of a guaranteed hourly wage. But true financial freedom is waiting on the other side of that friction. You have to stop playing the game society designed for you, and start playing the game that actually builds wealth. If this video gave you a new perspective on your time and your income, please hit the like button so this message can reach more people who need to hear it. Subscribe to the channel to keep mastering the mindset of the greatest thinkers. And before you leave, drop a comment below and tell me exactly what high leverage skill or asset you are going to start building with your 2 extra hours today. I read every single one. Thank you for watching, and start building your escape route right now.